Today's the deadline for New Jersey Governor Mikey Sherrill to respond to the Republican Study Committee, who are demanding to know how over 6,600 non-citizens ended up on state voter rolls. Roughly 400 of those non-citizens cast ballots in elections, according to the governor. Joining me now is New Jersey Congressman Jeff Van Drew. He is a member of the House Judiciary Committee. Congressman, good morning and great to see you.
Always good to be on with you. Thank you.
So you led this letter. New Jersey is your home state. Have you gotten a response yet? And what are you hoping to learn from the governor?
Well, we certainly hope to get a response. And if we don't, we're going to continue to pursue this. Working with the Republican Study Committee, I headed up this letter. Good to have 17 other thoughtful members on it with me to say, you know, what's the real story here? How did this happen? It's interesting to note that for years we've discussed that we thought something was wrong. We thought there were problems. We were told we were xenophobic. We were racist. We were conspiracy theorists. We're, every bad name you could think in the book. And lo and behold, they had to admit it's true when the pressure was on. We're going to keep the pressure up. She doesn't answer by the end of business today. We're going to move forward. We're going to continue to work on it. We're going to have a hearing in the committee that I chair, the subcommittee on oversight and judiciary. And we're doing a lot of other things dealing with the Department of Justice. So we're attacking this from about 4 different vantage points to get to the truth. We're not letting it go. We never want to see it happen again.
Yeah, and it's not just your state of New Jersey. We were just talking about it earlier in Virginia as well. And that brings me to the Save America Act. It would require voters to show proof of citizenship when they're registering to vote, which might have helped prevent the situation in New Jersey. Congressman, Save America Act, it passed the House multiple times. It's stuck in the Senate since February. Do you think Congress can do everything that it can to get this bill to the president's desk before the end of the year? Does it have a realistic chance?
It's still got a realistic chance. I'm profoundly disappointed in the Senate. And I believe there are a lot of voters that the senators are responsible to serve that are disappointed too. This is not complicated. If you want to vote in an American election, you must be an American, and you show ID. And you've heard all the arguments we all have, and it's true. If you go into a liquor store, if you go into a federal building, if you buy a firearm, I can give you the list. It's as long as your arm, and essentially saying you need to have ID to do certain things in this world. That's not voter suppression. That is making sure we're being responsible and that Americans are voting in American elections. The filibuster has been harmful. The filibuster in the Senate, filibuster was originally meant to be something that would extend and magnify debate. That has now become, you basically almost need a supermajority to get anything done. What's the good of a majority then? It's obstructionist, it's harmful, it doesn't make sense. And I know the senators, some of them love it, but it's contrary to the will of the American public. It's shameful. They've got to get this done. We've done it twice. We'll do it a third time. If they don't get the damn thing done, Americans are going to be angry, and they should be. I'm angry.
I think you're right. We're also 74 days away from the midterms, Congressman. You and your Republican colleagues are looking to hold on to a very slim majority in the House and the Senate. Hopes potentially of expanding if possible, but the economy is top of mind for voters. A recent AP poll finding 41% of adults are extremely or very concerned about affording groceries in the next few months. Most polled say their household have made changes on how they shop. They're buying store brands, they're changing grocery stores, or they're cutting out certain items altogether. Congressman, how can Republicans reassure voters that your party can fix this? Because when it comes to kitchen table issues like this is where the socialists are gaining their foothold. They're crying and seizing about affordability, and it's resonating with some in this country.
Of course, what socialists would do, their cure would make the situation worse. The cure they have is worse than the problem itself. But there's no doubt we have to recognize this is a real issue. We can't pretend it isn't there, and we've got to show people that we're going to do the right thing. And we've done that in the past where we, reduce taxes on tips, reduce taxes on overtime, reduce taxes on Social Security, reduce taxes on people buying new vehicles. I can go through the long list. We've done a lot of good work. We haven't advertised that enough. We haven't talked about it enough. We need to do more of that. Secondly, we need to ensure that the American public knows that we're going to double down on this issue. We need the president who can be a great salesman. We need him to do it. We need to do it. This is issue number one. Nothing else matters if you can't afford to live in the country and life is not good. The socialists would make life worse, and that's what we have to realize, and we have to explain to people. This is a really big issue. It's really important. We should be focusing on it nonstop.
Meantime, government spending is in focus, too. The national debt surpassing a record $40 trillion. It's more than doubled since 2017. Arizona Congressman David Schweikert joined this program, warning Maria just how much money the government's been borrowing. Watch this.
We're borrowing now $93,000 every second over the last 12 months. We're in real trouble. We're pushing up bond prices. Look at the 10-year yield right now. A lot of that, those pricing is because the United States government is on a borrowing binge. And how do we convince the bond markets that we're serious? Well, you're going to burn one of the, in many ways, last reconciliation budgets. We have to do parts of the SAVE Act. We absolutely need that. But we also need to convince the markets that we're actually going to start to at least make a small attempt to get our fiscal house in order.
Yeah, and did you say we're borrowing $93,000 every day?
Seconds.
And the bond market, Congressman, clearly concerned about this. Your thoughts?
Oh, of course. I'm sorry. I thought you were going to show a clip.
No, it's okay.
It is of concern, and we have to make sure that we do even better. We have done a lot. There was a lot of wasteful spending. We're still paying for the past administration for all the, the green energy boondoggles, all the money that was spent during COVID. Some of it shouldn't have been. Huge amount of waste. That's really what blew up this deficit more than ever. Number one, we've stopped that. Now that we've stopped it and we're cooling it off, we've got to do better. Here's the deal, though. We have to do it in a way that we don't hurt people. You have to use a scalpel and not a hatchet when you do this. There are some cuts that can be made, but I'm a populist conservative. I believe the president is as well. We're not out to hurt people. We have to cut in the right areas. It's not an easy task. People make it sound simple, but what we've got to do more than anything is grow our way out of it. So hopefully when this energy issue gets better, we can grow our way out of it. We've got more revenues coming in, number one. Number two, we've got to look and make sure that we're cutting the areas that are superfluous, that aren't needed, that are wasteful, that are harmful. We can do more with that. We should do more with it. And then three, finally, don't hurt working Americans in that process. You have to do this real carefully and be circumspect.
Yeah, and the runway for growth, as you mentioned, has been set by the president and his big, beautiful bill legislation. The war, might be clouding everything that's happening right now because of oil prices, but the fundamentals of the U.S. economy are pretty strong. Congressman Jeff Andrew, we so appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.
Good to be with you. Thank you.
All right, Mornings with Maria. We'll be right back.